report on breakdown the wall project. Hello Mr. Headmaster, I am pleased to give you a report on the study we recently had about breakdown the walls project. Here is my view of the technology-rich learning spaces in the future. I have to give it in the Ugandan context. There is an ongoing curriculum review. Its aim is to scale down the teaching content and developing skills. It is shifting curriculum from being examination-oriented to a broader and a more inclusive curriculum to satisfy the needs of all abilities of the learners. Use of technology in teaching features very well in this arrangement. This is where I see the future of technology and the use of technology-rich spaces in the future of our country. However, the government has also to change its stance on the use of technology devices such as laptops, tablets, and smartphones in the schools. Learners should be allowed to use these digital devices during lessons. This will improve technology in our schools. Secondly, the study of breaking down the walls involved learning spaces for effective learning. I have found the following key features that influence learning in technology-rich spaces. 1. Configuration of the spaces. 2. Management of warmware. 3. How we use technology in technology-rich spaces. 4. Space innovations. And 5. Bring your own device or BYOD. With the advancement of technology and its subsequent infusion into our lessons, we have to shift from traditional seating arrangement. This is where the teacher stands in front of the class with the students and desks arranged in rows while facing the teacher and the blackboard. This has now changed. First, we have to use movable furniture, which allows students to sit in circles and in small groups. This gives learners a greater chance of collaboration as they use technology in their learning experiences. This arrangement makes lessons student-centered as opposed to teacher-centered traditional style. However, before we start moving desks around, we make sure that the preferred seating arrangement can work within the space and the school furniture available. We be mindful of obstructions such as support beams, walls, and other fixtures that cannot be moved. We have to make sure that the students can still have a view of the whiteboard or blackboard. Secondly, we can integrate technology in our lessons. During that, undesirable behavior may arise. This is what we described as warmware. We studied various ways of managing warmware, and here are some. For example, being in class on time to supervise orderly entry, having clearly established rules, making students that everyone's attention is got before start talking, being prepared, like having spare pens and books for those who come without, preparing lessons very well and making them more interesting, catching the students being good not only during times when they are misbehaving, and there has to be a classroom rules and communication, interaction with others, and movement and safety. These rules must be clear and the consequences for the transgressors must be clearly stated. Then on the third aspect, how we use technology in technology-rich spaces. My focus was on all the things and all the ways. The focus here was on traditional teaching methods and traditional classroom configuration. In this situation, the teacher is the controller of learning, and the students sitting in rows facing the blackboard, and the teacher conducts instructions from the front. I have also managed to study other approaches, such as new things and new ways, and this approach applies to technology-driven classrooms. We consider new organization or class arrangement where students sit in circles, and the new teaching methods which are student-centered, collaborative, and highly engaging. And 4, space innovation. This had 2 groups, construction and the technology group. And there was interesting study where we held extensive discussions and reaching a consensus. We have experienced breaking down the walls where the learning space should not be restricted to the classroom only. By using technology, we can use other available physical spaces to conduct lessons. 21st century learning skills calls for flexible learning and setting. The flexibility goes beyond traditional classrooms. Learning can take place in various physical environments, including informal and formal places. However, the problem here concerns the spaces themselves. The environment in most of these potential learning spaces may not promote learning, so they have to be improved first. And some things like chairs, digital devices, and power, and also internet have to be installed. The spaces can also be vital in small group collaborations. And during the study, we also studied bring your own device, or BYOD, and it is an important feature of this lesson. BYOD refers to a policy of permitting students to bring personally owned devices such as laptops, tablets, and smartphones to their classes. But all in all, it is a very good strategy and it is worth trying. It has merits and demerits, but we can focus on its merits to improve student learning. Then, how both technology and the configuration of spaces influence learning. Classroom technologies and configurations vary from room to room. Technology is changing rapidly today and at a rapid pace. It is important that classrooms keep up with the latest technology to provide the best educational environment for our learners. Here we can consider low and high density labs. First, the seating arrangement must be in the circles. For low density lab situation, there are a few computers per group. This has the advantage of allowing space for better movement during collaborative activities. However, the teacher has to plan very well in order to engage the learners who are not having access to the computer. For high-density labs, on the other hand, we have more computers and the students may be engaged on computer at the same time. But movements during collaborative activity may not be very okay. But all in all, we have to move away from the traditional arrangement where students sit in rows facing the blackboard to more technology-friendly arrangement where students sit in small groups and in circles to foster collaborative and sharing information. This in end will foster student-centered learning. And there is use of technology in technology-rich spaces. It is exciting. Students collaborate, engage, share, and communicate more. Because they may be moving from place to place, like during their interactions, for instance, where BYOD is used, we have to put in use classroom management, and some problems may arise. Some of the classroom management strategies we can use here include the following, like establishing clear classroom guidelines, arranging the classroom to monitor progress and minimize distractions, set expectations for specific lessons and projects, and clarify expectations, purpose, goals, and objectives. Specify a time frame for each activity to help them pace up with the activities. The above technology management strategies are important in the following ways. For example, keeping students focused on their activities, minimizing distractions during class, completing lesson activities in time, increasing the extent of collaboration during class time, and keeping the class orderly. Sir, that is the end of my report. Thank you very much.